Jared Ball is a professor of communication studies at Morgan State University, and he joins us from Washington to talk a little bit more about this. Thanks so much for being with us, Jared. You know, really for the first time in history, we've seen a president throw the very legitimacy of our U.S. voting system into question, saying it's actually completely vulnerable to fraud, mainly because of those mail-in votes. Let me get your take on why you think he's pushing that line.
Well, I mean, clearly he's doing it because he doesn't think he has a straight chance to win the election. Certainly not the popular vote, and as you all were breaking down just a moment ago, he has a possible but a difficult chance to win the electoral vote. But from people like me, admittedly a marginalized minority for a variety of reasons, the real fraudulent in our electoral system is in the campaign financing, the lack of multiple parties, ranked choice voting, et cetera, and so forth. So at the end of the day, most of us who, and those who haven't, which is the largest voting bloc, those who don't vote in this country, will not have someone championing what most of us in this country actually want. So at the end of the day, for me, the biggest fraudulence in our system is that there is no possibility for, at this current moment, electing someone or a party that will actually represent the will and the needs of a majority of the people in this country.
Gotcha. So, I mean, you're talking about a need for macro reform, but yeah, let's zone in though on what we're actually seeing now and what some see as an effort by the president to really disenfranchise voters that wouldn't support him kind of any way he can. I mean, we've been hearing examples of talking about the corruption that he thinks exists in mail-in voting. How else have you seen, or do you think you've seen, that has been an effort to try and prevent people from getting to the polls?
Well, clearly, I mean, Trump and the Republican Party have tapped into a long tradition in this country of trying to intimidate black voters, whether it was the attempt to threaten the Biden campaign bus yesterday in, I believe, Texas, and people in the black community there sort of stood up and resisted the threat. But this is a long traditional pattern. Even in previous campaigns recently, we would see in southern parts of the United States, sheriffs just simply park their cars outside of election sites as a way as an old method of intimidating black voters, et cetera. But there's also a deeper problem here that people like journalist Greg Palast and others have been highlighting in this country, which is the removal of black voters from voting rolls by largely Republican states attorneys general, but doubled down with the problem on the other side of it as Democratic parties representatives don't put those members back on the rolls, particularly in places in the South where they fear, as he put it the other day, the organization of a black bloc or a black party that would weaken the Democratic Party and their need for a black base. So there are a number of things happening here, and we still have concerns over the way the electronic ballots are cast. Never mind the way absentee or mail-in ballots will be tabulated. So there are a number of issues in this country that, with our election systems, that certainly need to be addressed if we want to have the process be more meaningful and substantive.
Let's hope they do get addressed, Jared, and that the system can allow it. It seems like there's some disproportionate power in states, smaller states in particular, with certain interests. But anyway, Jared, we're sadly going to have to leave it there. Thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Anytime.